don't know what it takes. So you want to be great, but do you really know what the stakes? Do you know what it means?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the month. Welcome to the Hitting Cage podcast. I am your co-host, Jack Glennon, and I am joined by one of my very best pals and, of course, my partner, whom is my only counterpart in this lovely industry, my man, Tristan Thornhill. Tristan, how are we doing today? Great to see you.
I'm doing good, man. We had a little bit of a hiatus there. A lot of things have happened in the realm of the MLB. College football started. But baseball's still in full swing. We got the playoffs coming up in less than 2 weeks. So
we do, and only one of our teams is going to be a part of it. Unfortunately,
hey! The Giants were scorching there for a bit. They were one of the better teams, and I think what they've dropped they dropped 3 or 4 in a row for a minute. That's there, and now the slumping Mets that lost 9 in a row
are back.
So listen, there's still some baseball left.
Now, I will say
crazier things.
You're right. I've seen crazier things, and one of those crazier things that I've seen is me opening up the episode.
Where are you?
I am in the bottom of Andy Holt Tower.
That's not the traditional room.
It's not. It's the room we met Duncan Pence in.
Oh, we need to get it back.
We do, and I will say, Tristan, if something seems off about this episode, it's because I introed. That is your thing. I wanted to give it a shot, but I think we'll give it back to Tristan next time. He does such a great job.
Let the comments decide. How do you guys think that Jack did on his first intro with Ricardo?
Yes. Viewers, how did we do?
Give it a C-.
Wow. Okay, so you're gonna give me a silver card.
Yes.
This is my show.
We need to get more people on here. We need to start grading people again.
It's been
so long since I've graded somebody on their appearance.
I know. I need to be harsh. I need to make people feel bad about themselves again.
It's just because of how long it's been since you and I have talked ball. It's just we need to get some people in here. You know, we have RG and Grace on the scene, just screwing with us in the chat, telling us what we look like, how bad we look, how bad we sound, and then giving us balloons in any ever given minute. But we need to get some special guests, so hopefully we can get that. Because we got peak baseball coming up with the playoffs right around the corner. And then right after that, even then, we might do an episode or two in the off season. We might talk about where we expect some people to go, what teams we expect to dump star players. I'm looking at you, Paul Schemes. But this should be a fun playoffs. And I say that knowing that the Yankees just finished that 12-game stretch where they faced all above 500 teams, and every single team that they faced is right now in a playoff position in the AL. So that team, that entire stretch consisted of the Astros for 3, the first place Blue Jays for 3, the first place Tigers for 3, and let's call them mid Red Sox for 3, to which they only lost 1 series, and that was to the Detroit Tigers. They lost in embarrassing fashion in the first 2. But then the Yankees don't lose on 9/11, so they embarrassed the Tigers on 9/11. And it's kind of interesting to see. So this is my first question before we can just jump all over the place today. I feel like today's going to be very informal.
It has to be because we've missed so much.
So we can jump all over the place today. And I'll be damned if we don't start with my New York Yankees. What do you think about these two possible matchups? Series, if the season were to end today, it would be, I believe, Yankees versus Astros in a best of 3 at Yankee Stadium. Now, the season's not over. The Red Sox are also around that area. So would you rather see Yankees Astros at Yankee or Yankees Red Sox at Yankee?
Look, if you're asking me as a baseball fan, I would 10 out of 10 times rather see the Yankees square off against the much hated on this podcast Boston Red Sox, because that is one of the greatest, if not the greatest rivalry in American sports. But if you're a Yankees fan, I think you want to pull the Astros. Look, the Yankees have struggled against the Red Sox this season, and that's no secret. I could tell any Yankees fan on the planet right now, the Yankees have had a hard time with the Boston Red Sox this season. And even as crazy as Yankee fans are, they would tell me I was right. Because they have. I think the Yankees could handle the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium in a postseason matchup. The only thing that scares me about that Red Sox team for the Yankees, is the pitching. I think that Red Sox pitching is very formidable. You saw how the Yankees looked against Garrett Crochet just a few nights ago. They got cooked. They were down, I believe it was 5-0 in the first inning after Will Warren gives up a 5-spot off the bat in the top of the first inning. Tough to bounce back from that. In the playoffs, you cannot afford to have a game like that where it's over before it even starts. So I think in a 7-game series, it would advantage the Yankees. In a 5-game series, it would advantage the Red Sox, as weird as that sounds.
No, it's not weird to say because, I mean, you look at their number one, it's all about winning that first game.
Yes.
And the Yankees have not been able to hit him.
And I believe, look, I think if the Yankees play the Astros, especially with Yordan Alvarez still banged up, I think the Yankees win that series fairly easily in 4 games in an NLDS, maybe 5 or 6 in a CS. But Red Sox, in my opinion, are a much more troubling matchup for New York.
It was very interesting to see because you got a preview of that possible wild card. Excuse me. If the Astros were to go up against the Yankees, I would say that I don't know if necessarily the Astros won scares you as much. It's not the starting pitching that should scare you about the Astros. It's the bullpen and the back end of it. The back end. You have Josh
7, 8, 9.
Exactly. That's where you should be scared. And if Josh Hader is healthy and ready for the postseason, that's where you should be worried. Here's where the Astros are hindered. You just said it. Yordan Alvarez is hurt again. And this is now the second time that he's going to miss significant time. Who's to say that he comes back and, is Yordan Alvarez? I know he did it this first time. Trust me, I saw him beating the crap out of the Yankees. And then you still have Jose Altuve, who haunts Yankees fans' dreams for the last, 6, 7 years? So, and then you have Carlos Correa back. So maybe they have some mojo. If I'm a Yankees fan, I think personally I would much rather face the Astros because you look at the Red Sox, and again, I said it earlier like 2 minutes ago. Game 1 is the most important one in that 3-game set. And the Red Sox have a stud going for them. Yes, Max Fried was great, but that UT alum, man, that funky leg kick that he's got, that lefty from the left side, Garrett Crochet's been dealing all year. And there's nothing to discredit Max Fried. He's been phenomenal. He had a blip, but he's kind of come back down to being
Rodon's been great too.
He's been coming back down to being Max Fried. I don't think the Yankees know how to hit Garrett Crochet. I mean, you look at his numbers against Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has a couple pops against him. But other than that, and I'm a Yankee fan, he kind of owns the Yankees. And if you're a Red Sox fan, you're looking at this guy, he's going to be there for the foreseeable future. You are ecstatic. So I look at a Red Sox matchup and I'm a little worried. Yes, I think the Yankees have the better 2. I think they have the better 3. But if you lose game 1,
it's an uphill battle for sure. And I think in terms of the Astros, like you mentioned with Alvarez getting hurt again, I think, look, I mean, this guy is only 28 years old, but if you're the Astros, what you cannot afford is for Yordan Alvarez to turn into the left-handed Giancarlo Stanton. You cannot afford to have this guy playing 64 games a year. He's 6'5", 237. That's a whole lot of dude, okay? That is a whole lot of dude. And a dude moving around like that is just bound to get hurt. So, I mean, look, you got to make this guy a permanent, and I mean permanent, no exceptions, no first base, no corner outfield, permanent designated hitter. Otherwise, this guy's going to be playing 70 games a year for the rest of his career.
All right. So I'm going to jump to the other side of this bracket of the AL because we want to tackle the NL because –
Before you do that –
What?
Let me expose to our viewers really quick, and RG will get a kick out of this. Tristan Thornhill was in my neck of the woods this past weekend.
Listen, you don't understand.
And he decided
physically impossible.
That it would be better to not see me and to see me on a computer screen and 3 days later instead.
Right.
Tristan, do you feel like you should explain yourself?
Tell the story because Jack decided to expose and unleash my personal business on the waves. I was in Knoxville this weekend. Got to go see myself a thrilling Georgia-Tennessee game. Did not end in our favor. I won't say anything past that, whether I have hate or love for certain people. But what happened. I'm very proud of the Volunteers. We won't get into college football. Hopefully we'll get a college football show soon so I can rant to you about the game. But I was in Sevierville for all you Knoxvillians.
No, it's Sevierville with an I.
It's physically impossible to go from Sevierville to Knoxville and stay somewhere where I don't have a place in Knoxville anymore. So it's an hour drive to go between the two. That's God willing, there's no traffic.
We were at the same game, mind you.
At the stadium. Nobody, I don't think, if you have been to a Tennessee game, especially if you sit in the student section, it is physically impossible to leave your seat and expect it to be there.
Yeah, that is valid. That is valid. I will say that's
the only
valid.
time you can do that is at halftime. And it's not my fault. I'm sitting up in the bleachers because I'm an alumni now, and I'm sitting around boomers who don't decide to leave their seats at halftime. So it was hard. I mean, you're not the only one that wanted to see me. There was a lot of people.
Aren't you Mr. freaking popular over here?
I am.
God.
I mean, you brought it up.
If you ask anybody in the world their opinion on Tristan Thornhill, Tristan Thornhill's opinion of Tristan Thornhill will be the highest.
That's insane to say, and you know that that's not true. That's what's funny. Is he knows.
No, the real answer is my opinion of Tristan Thornhill will be the highest, and it will always be that way.
Well, right back at you. Oh my God, Trent Grisham just hit another home run. That's two on him. That's two on the day for him. He's Barry Bonds, and I know that's going to piss you off, but I don't care. Bro,
yeah, you know what? It does piss me off, and this is why we need to get into a broadcasting
from
booth.
Trent Grisham is insanity. This is the stuff that you expect with Juan Soto on an off-average season for Juan Soto. This is Trent Grisham putting up these numbers. Is he just hit his second home run of the game? I promise you, I'll stop gargling on the Yankees balls in a second. But this is ridiculous.
No, you will not. No,
this is ridiculous. The man, the big sleep from Fort Worth, Texas, hit his second homer of the game. And I believe that gets him to 33 on the year. Yes,
let me tell you,
33 home runs on the year, a 348 OBP. And I know he's only batting 239, but the power that this guy has provided in that lineup.
Absolutely.
33 home runs?
Let me say something about Trent Grisham. I mean, first of all, I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm a guy who loves batting average. But Trent Grisham, with his production this year, is producing, like you said, an off Juan Soto season. He's producing similar numbers to what we saw from Juan Soto in San Diego. And funny enough, Trent Grisham was part of that Yankees trade. And so you look at this team, and Trent Grisham is putting the production in that Juan Soto was giving the Yankees, at least a similar level.
A similar level of the power.
But the only difference is
the same average. There's clutch and power with Trent Grisham. And that's the only thing the Yankees need.
The only difference I will say that's not as pronounced or obvious for the Yankees in terms of a benefit is, look, when you have Juan Soto on the Yankees, and Juan Soto even came out and said it, if Juan Soto's on a team, everyone else in that lineup is getting pitched to differently because it's, God forbid, someone's on base when Juan Soto comes up. So that's the only thing. No one is pitching around the guy in front of Trent Grisham. But apart from that, Trent Grisham has given the Yankees filled the hole the Yankees left when Juan Soto bailed.
That's him and Cody. That's the beautiful thing about Trent Grisham is that he's not the big sexy name he is. But I'll tell you what, he continues this all the way into the postseason.
He will be
a free agent. He's going to be a free agent. This man is single-handedly putting zeros at the end of every check that he is going to be demanding. Him and Cody Bellinger. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Yankees want to do. Do they want to re-sign both of them? Because then what do you do with Jason Dominguez? Because he's a star. He's trying to get his reps in. He just hit an RBI earlier today in the game. Where do you put Jason Dominguez? Because you have Giancarlo Stanton, who we all know is one of the streakiest, most clutch players, especially when it comes to the postseason, alive. You can't give that up. So where do you put him? So I think one of the things that a lot of Yankees fans have considered is, well, do you move Cody Bellinger to first? You saw the beginning of the season that Paul Goldschmidt had kind of falling off a little bit here. Do you move him to first and then try to re-sign Trent and Cody so that there's space in the outfield?
I don't think they do. Tristan, because they also have Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez. I want to know, though, you're the resident Yankees fan.
Yeah.
What do you think they do, and what do you think that means for Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones, who's a big-time prospect?
What do you think? What do I think they do, or what do I want them to do? You asked me what do they think they do, so I'm going to answer that. What do I think they do? I think that they are definitely going to have a stab at Cody Bellinger. I really do think I personally think that that's where he wants to be. We say the same thing about Juan Soto, so that can mean jack diddly shit to anybody that's listening to this. I think that's where he wants to be. I think he's going to get a hefty contract, and I think it's going to be a 7 or 8 year contract.
Even if he had a bad year, it would just be the name recognition of Cody Bellinger.
Is they do believe in these prospects. I mean, you see it with Anthony Volpe, as bad of a year as he's having. Look at all the tapes from when he first got called up. They were not going after big name shortstops like Carlos Correa, Corey Seager, just to name a few that were on the market because of how much they believed in Anthony Volpe. So they have this same kind of belief in Spencer Jones, and I know for sure that they have it in Jason Dominguez, or he wouldn't be up there right now. They want to get him playing time. So in terms of Trent, I'm not 100% sure that they're going to go re-sign him. So this is where I'll now get into where I want them to go. I think Jason Dominguez is going to be a fantastic player. He's versatile. He's got he's got 4 tools. He needs to work on his defense, but then again, that's on the Yankees for not sticking him in his natural position in center field where he covers more ground because he's got speed. He's one of the fastest players the Yankees have on the team. He's got great bat-to-ball skills. We saw the power dip off a little bit this year and put the ball on the ground a little bit more, but who's to say he can't leg out some of those? I think he's electric with an amazing upside. That being said, how many more outfielders does this team need? You've got Spencer Jones waiting.
That's exactly my point.
You got Spencer Jones waiting. And I look at Anthony Volpe, who I genuinely don't know what the decision is going to be on him. They could send him back down, and depending on how the spring looks, you could call up George Lombard Jr. We have had 16 minutes of Yankees talk. And
you love it. And you love it.
I'm thriving off of it. You're lucky the camera's not a little bit lower. That's all I'll say on that. Anyway.
Oh, God.
What I would love to see this Yankees team do, and I'm sure this would piss off a tremendous amount of people, I would love to see the Yankees trade for Paul Skeens using a package of Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones Jr. It was in the talks.
And the Pirates would laugh and hang up the phone.
No, not necessarily, because they were listening.
Yes, necessarily.
No. There was a report, if you let me talk, there was a report right before the trade deadline that the Pirates were actively listening to a deal with George Lombard Jr. and Spencer Jones. So I don't think it's more ridiculous. It's any less ridiculous to have a player who's already MLB ready in the package.
A report by who? Jay King?
How is that son of a bitch? Now, I want to say I don't know exactly who it was, but it was a well-trusted source, and there was multiple other media outlets that picked it up. I could take the time to look it up for you, but I'd rather someone else do that, Chris. But either way, that's what I would personally rather see them do. But I feel like we've been talking about the Yankees for an eternity. So,
well, I do want to tell you what I do want to tell you.
The AL. I'll preface this by saying all my Yankees talk. The AL, wide open. Genuinely don't know who's going to win the World Series or win the AL.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think, unfortunately for the Yankees, and unfortunately for Trent Grisham becomes the odd man out. And
that's what I agree with.
Because you get rid of Goldschmidt. I think that's a consensus at this point. Goldschmidt's gone. You move Bellinger to first if you can retain him. You spend a boatload of money on Bellinger. Trent Grisham is a career 215 hitter. You're not going to give this guy. Hear me out. You're not going to give this guy $100 million. And if you do, you shouldn't have. I think they use that money to go after a guy like a Pete Alonso or someone else of that higher caliber.
The Yankees?
Yes. Or they pour that money into the bullpen, which they should.
Yes.
Okay.
That is
and let Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez timeshare in that starting role.
I have a stroke, heart attack, and hernia every single day watching that fucking bullpen.
But I will say, I think
because I've lost years off my life watching that bullpen.
Someone will overpay for Trent Grisham, and I don't think it should be the Yankees. Maybe they will. Who am I to say? I am not, Brian Cashman.
But I don't think to the Padres.
I could see it as well. Someone's going to overpay for Trent Grisham, and it shouldn't be the Yankees.
Well, but that's the whole conversation we're having right now. I genuinely don't think at this. I'd have to see the number, obviously, but I don't think right now the number's going up. So I'm not going to necessarily say that Trent Grisham's an overpay right now because I don't think he is, especially with that power. Now, I know the power is different when it comes to Yankee Stadium. His numbers are
that's the point.
Because he's playing at Yankee Stadium. But that's what my whole thing is why not keep him? He's only what? How old is Trent Grisham? 29, 28? Keep him. Send a package to the Pirates, get you some more pitching depth, and then after that, all you have to worry about is your bullpen. And that just comes free agency-wise. But again, we've been talking about the Yankees for about 20 minutes.
Hold on. I do want to say one more thing.
This is your last thing. We got to move. Go.
Trent Grisham, this season as a Yankee, and like you mentioned, the power for him has been significant at Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
I'd be curious to know what his power looks like. And I got it pulled up right now. He's played 69 games on the road this season, totaling 19 home runs. So a majority of his home runs are on the road. So I don't think the power is an issue. I really don't. I think Trent Grisham has shown a serious power, and it's not because of that short porch in right field.
Well, I mean, like we just said, he just hit two home runs up in Minnesota. So again,
tough park.
That's another I'd say role player that you're going to have to keep our eyes out on him. But he's making himself, inch closer to that. You know what? Good player, star player status.
Borderline all-star.
This is what I'm saying. This is going to be a player to watch for sure. How the Yankees handle it. Obviously, Cody Bellinger, but I mean, everybody knows who Cody Bellinger is and what he can do, what he can provide for a ballpark. I mean, his defense has been lights out. The field for the Yankees need all the defense they can get. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with those two players. I don't know if they're going to retain both. I personally would, so you can make some decent trades with that depth that you got. Let's move to the other side of the AL. So, like I said, right now, if the playoffs ended today, you'd have Toronto as the 1 seed, Detroit as the 2. Your 3 would be the Mariners, who are like a roller coaster of a team. Because I remember before this, I think they went 10 in a row. Cal Raleigh hit 2 in a single game. I think his total's up to 56 or 57 now in the year. And he is. I know there's only a week and a half left, but I've seen more crazy things. Could he touch Judge's record? Maybe. I don't think he does, but the 3 would be Seattle, the 4 would be the Yankees, 5 Houston, and then the 6 Boston. So I'm going to ask you, in a best-of-3 series between the Seattle Mariners and the Boston Red Sox, who you got?
The Red Sox in 2 games. Look, if you're asking me who the scariest team in the American League is, I don't care what the seeding says. It's Boston Red Sox. I'm not scared by the Blue Jays.
I think they are scary, but I don't think that they're that.
I am not scared. With the damn balloons again. I have a theory that RG goes back and edits the balloons out so I look like a crazy person. Anyway, forget the freaking balloons. Anyway, I believe the Mariners. I'm not scared by the Mariners. I think, like you said, they're 2 up and down. Now, could they get hot at the right time and go on?
Yes, possibly.
Absolutely, they could
in 2 games. That's why I won't say in 2 games. I still have the Red Sox, but Mariners are too streaky for me. I'm sorry, I interrupted your point. Go ahead.
No, you're right. That's where I was going. The Mariners, and that's why I think we always think on the same wavelength. Always, we never argue. Anyway, I'm not scared terribly by the Mariners. I think the Mariners are a very good team. I think that they lack left-handed pitching, which going up against the Red Sox is what you need. They're a lefty-heavy lineup. Obviously they used to have Rafael Devers, but Roman Anthony now is making a huge statement.
If Roman Anthony comes back, because I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Red Sox, ever since Roman Anthony got injured, they've been a shell of what they used to be.
But the assumption is that he'll be back during the postseason at some point.
But who knows if he comes back as good as he was? He has to get a couple games under his belt, and that's only a 3-game set. You don't have time to get some games under your belt. You got to come back.
Right. But I'm not nearly. If I'm the Yankees, if I'm the Blue Jays, if I'm anyone in that division, not just the division, if I'm anyone in that playoff picture, scariest team is the Red Sox. Sorry, bro.
Either that or the Tigers. The Tigers they've been
inconsistent too.
Nah, but they have phenomenal pitching, and that's only just because of how they have some banged up starters right now. Flaherty's not having his greatest year, but they don't need him to have a superb year. They need him to win Game 3. Game 3. That's even if it gets there.
The least important game of the series.
Well, obviously it would. I'm sorry. It would, because they are right now looking at the first round bye.
No. Well, I'm so not used to the wild card being 3 games. In a 7-game series, Game 3 is the least important.
That's what I'm saying. They have a solid 1-2. And when it comes to the playoffs, you're only looking at 1, 2, 3. You don't have to win every time, every third. Just he gives them a shot, is all I'm saying. And I mean, I just saw this Tigers team. This Tigers team did not have Tariq Skubal pitch against the Yankees. And they won 2 out of 3 in convincing fashion. The bullpen was able to get them over the finish line because the Yankees, it's just a battle of who's going to implode first when it comes to the Tigers. And the Tigers rarely are ever the first team to do it because of their pitching. Their pitching consistently gets from the 5th, 6th, 7th inning. So the bullpen doesn't have the time to implode it like the Yankee team, who's consistently having to worry, am I going to have to put a bullpen piece in the 4th, in the 5th, in the 6th? Am I going to get 7 innings today? Because they're younger. So I disagree in your take about the Red Sox are the scariest team in the AL. I honestly think that Tigers team is incredibly scary. Excuse me. But I mean, that's what I was saying about the AL. I think it's completely open. I mean, I could see any one of these teams beating any one of them. I don't think any one of us will sit up here and tell you, I have that the Toronto Blue Jays going all the way to the World Series. I don't. I just don't have – I don't see that it factor in them. And, I mean, I know that they've been hot. I know they play great ball. But I just saw the Yankees take 2 out of 3 of them, and I feel like they're getting a little slow at the wrong time.
In this era of baseball, Tristan, unfortunately –
It's just get hot at the end.
Unfortunately – I agree with you. It is just get hot at the end. But unfortunately, in this era of baseball that we've now come to, I believe that the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Texas Rangers was the last small market versus small market World Series we will ever see. We will ever see. And I believe that because you see unprecedented levels of spending in the offseason. You see unprecedented deferred contracts.
Well, you say that, but we know that the Blue Jays are willing to spend. They just can never get anybody to buy.
But my point isn't
like your Giants. I'm sorry to take the shot, but
my point isn't. Yeah, my point isn't with the Blue Jays. My point is with the Milwaukee Brewers, who are a very competitive ball club. Who the hell are they signing in the offseason? They're not signing Juan Soto. They're not signing Yoshinobu Yamamoto. They're not signing Logan Webb.
That's a Trent Grisham type team. That's all they need. That's a Trent Grisham type team that speaks to me.
But look, they're not.
If it's not this year, they're hoping that Trent Grisham can come in here, maybe produce similar numbers, and get him back to the hump. And then they'll figure it out.
Look at the Dodgers lineup 1 through 6 and tell me that Trent Grisham and Christian Yelich is enough to beat that team. It's not.
Sure.
It's
but
not.
Where are the Dodgers sitting right now? In a wild card. No,
they're not.
Yes, they are. I'm looking at it right now. The 1 and the 2 are Milwaukee.
Oh, in a wild card matchup. Yes, not in a wild card spot.
Wild card right now. That is the best that they could do. Winning that division right now is only getting them to the wild card. That's the whole thing about baseball nowadays. You can't just be the best in your division. You have to be 1 or 2.
It's like football. It's like football used to be before they expanded their playoffs. So I think the playoffs is a bit of a cluster. You know what, in terms of the MLB these days, I don't like the 3 road games. I loved how competitive the 1 game wild card was, ace versus ace, hostile environment. Everyone's fired up. I used to like that growing up, but it's a different game now. And I think that there are positives, but I think it's mostly about viewership. But, you guys probably don't want to hear my opinion on that. We know how we feel about that, Tristan.
All right, let's finish up in the AL before we get over to the NL. And I think to close it out, we should make a little bit of a bracket. I think we do this one more time before the playoffs officially start as well. But it'd be nice to do that just so our viewers can see our.
And I do want to revisit our World Series picks from the very first episode. Yes, I do. At the bottom of Andy Holt Tower. That was pre-Makash.
So, and I'm looking at this, by the way. If you're watching this, if you're on YouTube, obviously you can swipe up and the video will still keep playing. Go hit, Safari or whatever. But I want you guys to look up the World Series logo. Beautiful. Probably the best it's been in quite some time. And it's simple. And I know this whole thing is about modern design, everything being sleek and simple. They made it sleek and simple, but the simple addition of cursive rather than the blocky big letters speaks to me.
And let me say, while you're on your way to searching up that World Series logo and watching this, please make sure you do subscribe to Makash Films Entertainment and Media, the YouTube channel. There's not just the Hitting Cage podcast, not just the greatest podcast ever, but plenty of other great Makash Films content, and even including a podcast that you should check out where you choose your own adventure.
Yes,
So
it's on Instagram. Go check it out. It's AI made and it's based on creating your story based on what you say. Chloe and Co. also getting going. And also check out our merchandise. There's some Makash Films merchandise. If you click the link on the YouTube page, you can also mess with some of our merchandise at the Hidden Cage. Get yourself a shirt.
And we love that. And we also,
yeah,
if you'd like to sponsor the Hitting Cage podcast, if you'd be interested in that, please reach out to our manager, the lovely Roy George, or our on-site producer, Jason Hensley.
Because right now, Jack, we are currently not sponsored. We are, come on.
Man, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. On this podcast, like you were saying, Tristan, I can't believe I haven't said this yet. We are loved by all, listened to by a few, and sponsored by you, potentially. So if you want to sponsor us, go reach out to those people, and we'll get something worked out.
All right, so finishing up the AL, we said that those two teams to watch out for are probably the Red Sox sitting at the 6th seed, depending on if they can get Roman Anthony back, because I really do think that lineup is completely different with him in it. And the Tigers, as long as they can stay healthy, I know they had some health scares, especially with Tyreek School coming out of the game early. Do we want to address that other side of the bracket? Do we want to talk about the Astros injuries or what?
We touched on it briefly. I don't think we need to go back down that route because I do want to get to the NL.
Yes, I feel like we talked about the Yankees for 20 minutes, and I can't have anybody comment like, "Oh, look at the Yankee bias, dude." Well,
they should know if they want to comment that. Trust me, I am not giving any favor to the Yankees. That's not deserved because I dislike the city of New York.
Screw it. Let's get to the NL. You're right. Screw it. Let's get to the NL. Okay, so right now, if the postseason, we'll talk about this first, and then we'll go into individual teams if we'd like. Right now, if the postseason were to start, you'd have the Brewers at the 1, Phillies at the 2. You have the Dodgers at the 3, the Cubs at the 4, who clinched today.
Cubbies.
You have the Padres at the 5.
I was going to say,
the Mets teetering at the 6. All right, I will start this talk out by the big market team. I don't think that 6 is going to stay the same. I really
could not agree more.
I know that they've wrote the ship. Since we last talked, they were losing 9-10 in a row. They were a 3-run walk-off 3-run home run from Pete Alonso from winning.
They were tied with the Giants for that final spot, and they are
possibly going into extras and maybe losing 10 in a row. But
yes, and they did walk off that game, and that did kind of turn them back around. But they are currently, for an update, trailing the Padres in the top of the 7th by a score of 6-3.
And right now they sit 12.5 games back in the National League East. I think we all know
that has been clinched.
Probably the Phillies. Yes,
it already is. It's
it clinched it. That's right.
Yes.
That's correct. Their magic number was down to 2 or 3 the other day. They've clinched that. I mean, the tightest race is the NL West. That's scary. That's scary if I'm a Mets fan. It's really scary because you have the Padres knocking on the door. You have the Diamondbacks knocking on the door. You have the Giants who are sitting at 500 knocking on the door. That's the state of baseball we're in, everybody. Mediocre teams get a shot. And that's all they need. That's all they need to know is that we have a shot. The Mets, the $1 million payroll Mets, are teetering.
Billion
are teetering. I just said million because it says M and M. It's
$1 million Mets. Yes, I understand. But look, that team, Tristan, if they make it, which I don't care who's below them, I believe they will not. I agree with you. The Giants are now 2 games back if everything holds tonight. And the Giants, I don't think the Giants are going to necessarily make it, but they have a series with LA and Southern California. Duck the Dodgers for 4 games. That could help them get some momentum. And then 3 with the Cardinals, followed by 3 with the Rockies. But if it's not the Giants, it'll be someone else because of how bad the Mets have played on the stretch. It's very hard to recover from. And I'll tell you right now, my father always says, Todd Glennon, if you're watching, which if you're not, you really should be. You're my dad. But he always says it's the hottest team going in that wins it all every year. And I couldn't agree more. If the Mets do get in, they'll get smoked.
Well, I'll pump the brakes on that a little bit. It was true for the longest time, for sure. But
until last year, probably.
Last year, we probably saw a drop on from that. Yeah. It was either the Tigers or the Mets. That's what
my point is, the Mets are too cold to even be in it. The Dodgers were somewhat hot. The Mets will get smoked if they even make it.
The only problem is that I listen to New York sports talk. I'm a slut for it. The amount of Mets fans that go on the radio every day that say that this is not a good team. It's not a good team for the dollar sign that you see next to the product. It's not a good enough team. They're always fluky. It's always the fact that they're the miracle Mets. The fact that they we get them at the very end, the fighting Mets. This should not be that. You see how much money they spent. You went out and got Juan Soto. You retooled your bullpen at the trade deadline, which is not looking like it's the best moves ever. You re-signed Pete Alonso. You have Francisco Lindor. This should not be the memeing Mets. You should be comfortable in a playoff push with the Philadelphia Phillies.
The other thing
that
is,
should be a 1.5, 2.5 game lead that the Phillies have right now. Hell, you should have that lead. There's no way in hell that the Phillies should have clinched this division yet. Yet we're sitting here on September 17th at 8:19 p.m. The Phillies have won. That shouldn't be the case. If you're a Mets fan, yeah, sure, you got in. Congratulations. You shouldn't be sitting that low. And the only reason, I'll push it to you because I know you want to say something. The only reason that the Mets are in there right now is because the competition below them sucks ass. You're no better. You're not much better. The Diamondbacks, the Reds, fluky there for a little bit. The Giants, I had them as a dark horse, but right now, you should.
No, you're right, partner. You're right, partner. And here's what I'll say about the Mets. Even if that was the case, where it's, we get them at the end. The Mets, the fighting Mets, we get them at the very end. Not only are they not getting them at the very end, they're getting got at the very end. Did you see that Rangers series? Jock Peterson in 2025? Are we serious? Are we serious? Jock Peterson is walking you off in 2025. There is no reason for that.
I can't really speak on that because he had a big series against the Yankees in August.
I do love Jock Peterson. I do, but he's hitting 160. He's hitting 160, and he's hitting go-ahead 2-run singles against you in the top of the ninth.
He's hitting himself. Have you seen Jock Peterson? Look at him in a picture in the 2021 World Series. The blind, pearl clutching, motherfucker dropping Jock Peterson. That was Jock Peterson the last I know. He's let himself go.
Oh,
and you're letting this guy beat you. Not really look. So that's all I'll say on the Mets front. Yes, sure, you very well could make it in, but I want you to know if you're a Mets fan, and I'm not dragging you. I'll do the one thing that they hate me doing. I'm taking off the Yankee hat, okay? So that you can't say, it's a Yankee fan dragging the Mets. You should be embarrassed by that. And I know there definitely are some. But if you're still a delusional Mets fan that's looking at this like, hey, we still made the playoffs. That's like the Yankees saying, we still at least had a winning season. No one gives a fuck. You spent all this money. You should not be a wild card exit team. And that's all I'm looking at right now is a wild card exit team.
I could not agree more, partner. If you make the NLCS and add Juan Soto and add relievers at the deadline and sign Manaea and these other guys to big long-term deals and lock them all in, and you go and you barely make the playoffs above 3 sub-500 teams, and then you lose in the first round, that's a freaking L, bro. That's an L.
Because let's rewind a couple years. You're not even making the playoffs. This is a moot point.
I don't give a damn. If you make the NLCS and then you add the greatest pure hitter in baseball with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 guys, and then you lose in the wild card round if you even make it, give me a break. That is a huge L. That's
the whole point is that it actually has some Mets fans concerned that last year was a fluke. Like you were saying, up until maybe last year, the hottest teams get there. And the Mets went in scorching. So was it a fluke? Was it just the fact that they were super hot? And here I'll back up my point by saying this. Again, the Mets were a clutch Pete Alonso home run off of Devin fucking Williams, who, again, that's aging bad. from being bounced in that first round. So maybe they were misled. Maybe they were like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, maybe we are World Series ready now. So let's add all these pitchers. Let's add Clay Holmes and hope he can turn around, which, by the way, how the fuck is that working out for you? And then let's go and make big bucks for Juan Soto.
And trade our prospects
He's not having a Juan Soto year.
And trade our prospects for setup guys. I don't get it. I mean, I love Tyler Rogers, great Giant. But look at how Drew Gilbert has revitalized the Giants clubhouse in 20 games.
The barking Gilbert. Oh, I love the energy. I really love him.
And you got rid of that guy for a setup dude
because of him.
And you get rid of a guy like that and other prospects for a setup guy who's been a total disaster as a man.
Garbage
on a 1-year contract. And he will probably end up back with the Giants next season. I guarantee it.
Yankees are fucking blowing it. It's 7-5 now against the Twins. I had this motherfucker Chance texting me the fact they won a game. And I'm like, dog, you're a Twins fan. I don't even have to say anything back to you. You're a Twins fan. Congrats.
How long had it been since you had spoken to him before he sent you that text?
A while. All I did is I just sent him back a picture of the Falcons score from the Falcons-Vikings game. I mean, your team drafted J.J. McCarthy willingly.
Oh, man, he looks like garbage.
Yeah, he looks like shit.
He's a good dude.
We need an NFL show or a college football show. Anyway,
yeah, but it's not going to include Chance Jones. I'll tell you that. My God.
Anyway, I'm looking at the Phillies now. I think the Phillies are going to make it to the World Series this year.
I think you're insane, partner.
I think they are. Again, I will use your own logic against you. Okay, if the Brewers get past the NLDS, fluke. I don't see a minor. I almost said minor league team, a minor market pushing them. But the Brewers are good. I'm not discrediting them from everything, but you got to have upsets, or it's not the MLB. Anybody can win. Phillies are good. Their bullpen's fantastic. That's why I also kind of like the Padres, although they've been kind of scuffling lately. I like the Phillies here. The Dodgers are the Dodgers, and on the entire show last week. That's what's so beautiful about last time we talked. The entire show, you can pull it up and go back to the last episode and see this. All I did was ride the Dodgers and say, listen, they will clutch up when it means most. And what's happening with Mookie Betts right now? He's finally figuring it out right at the right time. There's only a week and a half left. The Dodgers will be the Dodgers no matter where you seed them. It's going to be the Dodgers. I say that knowing how beautiful our sport is. Knowing that anything can change any given day. Any team can beat any given team any fucking day because they're a major league baseball team. Dodgers could totally beat the Phillies too. But right now, in this very second, I think Kyle Schwarber and co. And talk about another free agent that's just putting zeros at the end of his contract. Kyle Schwarber is a DH. He can't stop hitting homers.
He's well above 50 at this point, partner. And I'll tell you what, I don't think the Phillies win a playoff game.
What?
I don't.
You think between – and I'm not even going to say the Mets because I truly don't –
it's the Dodgers.
Think that the Mets – yeah, exactly. You think that the Dodgers are going to sweep the Phillies. And remember, Phillies have home field advantage in that best of 5.
I think the Dodgers will kick their ass. Yes. And I this is coming from someone who hates the Dodgers more than you do, partner. I think the Dodgers will
Shout out Raleigh Halton, by the way. I haven't talked to that guy in a minute.
Raleigh Halton. I will be seeing him on Saturday. Good dude. Anyway, he's the one who got us started on this, Tristan.
Wait, where are you seeing him on Saturday?
I'm covering the game for Tennessee.
Oh, is he still – okay, good for him.
He does it for 99-1. Yeah, he's Riley Halton, good guy. I should say this: Phillies win 1 or 2 games.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I was saying. That series is going to 5.
No, that is not what you said.
That series is going to 5. I said the Phillies.
What you said was the Phillies are going to make the World Series.
The Phillies are going to make the World Series. I never said in what games. I never said in any amount of games. I just know that if they are good enough to get past the Dodgers, I think they can beat between the Cubs, Padres, and Brewers. I give them a shot to go to the World Series.
My man, I said I think the Phillies win 1 or 2 games, and you said the Phillies are going to go to the World Series. We do not agree.
Okay, I'm not saying that we agree. I'm saying that you at first said the Phillies wouldn't win a game. You're now changing your mind and saying the Phillies could win 1 or 2.
Yeah, but the Dodgers are going to win the series. They're not. So my point is, a team that gets bounced in the NLDS, they're not going to the World Series. They're not. Phillies are not going to the World
Of course
Series.
not. They got bounced.
The San Diego Padres have a better chance to beat the Dodgers than the Philadelphia Phillies.
Okay, we can have that conversation.
The San Francisco Giants have a better chance to beat the LA Dodgers.
I'm talking about who's on what side of the bracket. Right now in the NLDS, the Padres wouldn't be facing the Dodgers. We're talking about Phillies.
But I'm telling you, they will. I promise you they will.
Mm-mm.
NLCS,
on what
Padres,
belief?
Dodgers.
On what belief? I know that the Padres. No, I just said it. Same thing. The Phillies just lost Duran, I think, for the rest of the year, but their hitting is insanity.
Padres will beat the Cubs.
The Dodgers pitching is hurt all the time.
Padres will beat the Cubs. Padres will then beat the Brewers by 4-2 at latest. Padres will then play the Dodgers in the NLCS. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. We see it every year. It's always the Padres and the Dodgers matching up somehow, and it's going to be fantastic like it always is.
Jordan Romano. 15 AL. Zach Wheeler.
Jordan Romano, he's horrible.
Probably done for the year. Jose Alvarado. That's the one I was thinking. Jose Alvarado. Done for the year. Those are the pitching. Those are the guys. Those guys. Those are the three pieces that they're going to miss the most. They make.
You lose your ace and your biggest lefty reliever for the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saying a team that relies on pitching can't get it done like that.
They're not entirely relying on pitching.
But in the playoffs, you have to be. Deadly. You have to be.
Okay, but who are the Dodgers throwing at? Shohei Ohtani?
Clayton Kershaw's had a great season. Yoshinobu Yamamoto had a great season.
Kershaw in October. Look at his numbers in October.
But what I'm telling you, Tristan, is look at that Dodgers bullpen.
You don't have to tell me. The entire last episode, all I did was ride the Dodgers. Well, you grilled me for saying that the Dodgers can be good. I know that they can. I genuinely think that series is going to go to 5. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Dodgers won it all. I really wouldn't. But I also wouldn't be shocked if the Phillies made the World Series.
I would be. I really, really would be. I think I'd be shocked.
They're a hot team. The NL is not wide open.
If they got by the Dodgers, I'd be shocked, and I'd be even more shocked if they beat the Padres. I would not. I don't see that happening.
There's no way that they're the only team to clinch their division, and you can sit up here and say
the Brewers clinched their division well before the Phillies did.
Brewers have not clinched shit. They only have a 4.5 lead. It's not official yet. No, they have not. They have clinched a playoff berth. They haven't clinched their division yet. It's only a 4.5 game lead. Yes, it's only a 4.5 game lead. Good game lead. You got
I stand corrected.
10 games, 11 something games left.
You're right. I stand corrected.
Anyway, you can sit here and tell me that the National League East is just weak as shit because I don't think anybody expected the Braves at this time of the year to be sitting at 70 and 83.
We didn't.
Listen, I didn't expect the Braves to, be running away with the East per se, but I definitely thought they'd be somewhere in that mix. No one would think that the Marlins of all teams would be in third place. But that's where we are. Our lovely producer has told us we have our 10-minute wrap. Would you like to continue talking in the NL, or would you like to then do our pick and then revisit from the very first episode of the season? I
would like to remember our picks from the very first episode of the very first season. And then I would like to compare those picks to now and revise those picks if we have any revisions. Tristan, okay. I picked the San Diego Padres to win the World Series in our very first episode. You picked the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Okay.
Would you like to change that pick, and why?
Both of them are, shaping up to be very phenomenal picks. Either one of those teams could totally win. Kind of a bad look that both of them are sitting in a wild card spot right now, but who's to say what's going to happen in this week and a half left? Would I like to change my pick? This is hard because I do think an NL team is going to win it. I think the AL is obviously significantly weaker, and I don't think you need me to sit up here and tell you that. If you watch baseball, that's obvious. That being said, there are still good teams in the AL. Oh, man, I hate this. I really do hate this. Give me the Philadelphia Phillies.
When pitching matters most.
Against the Detroit Tigers.
A team without their ace and their best situational reliever will somehow win the World Series. Tristan Thornhill, that's what I'm getting from you.
Who said win? I gave you a matchup. Gave you the matchup. I said Detroit, Philly.
I believe your original pick was the rematch of the Yankees Dodgers.
Yes, that was my original pick. I am now changing it. Detroit, Philly. And the Detroit Tigers are going to win it all. That's where I'm
going. I like that.
Because, like you said, that 1, 2, 3 is something electric. Tariq Skubal doing shit that I haven't seen in a while. Casey Mize, fantastic. John Flaherty, yeah, sure, he can have a good night.
Game 4.
Doesn't need to, you know? That being said, Philly's pitching kind of hurt. Zach Wheeler's gone. And Alvarado's gone. They have great.
Oh, so now it's important that they're gone. Gotcha.
I never said it was. That's the World Series. Pitching can get you as far as the World Series. I agree with you. But I think bats can get you as far as the NLCS. Bats can get you to the World Series. And I will back that up by saying, how the fuck do you think the Yankees got to the World Series last year? That's all I'll say on that. Yes, pitching matters, but hot bats can carry you to the World Series. So that's why I don't think it's so ridiculous to see the Phillies.
They can carry you to the World Series, but they can't win you the World Series.
That's why I have your Detroit Tigers winning it.
I like that. I you know what? I see the vision.
I can see Detroit winning games 1 and 2. And like I said, this is how Detroit wins games. They outlast you. And then they don't have to have Superman studs in the bullpen, even though they kind of do. They wear you down with the pitching. It doesn't stop. Whereas you look last year, the Dodgers went into the World Series hurting pitching wise. Yankees didn't have a great bullpen, and even if they did, their manager wasn't pressing the right fucking buttons. Why didn't you bring in Tim Hill in Game 1? But that's what I'm saying. I think that the Detroit Tigers are best fit to win it all because of their pitching and the fact that their situational hitting is great. They don't have to beat you with 11 runs every game. They did it to the Yankees, but they don't have to do that. So that's where I'll go. But like I said, this is as wide open a World Series as I've seen since probably since last year. I think last year was kind of open too, but I think you knew what two teams were going to be there. But anyway, there's my pick. Tigers,
I agree.
Tigers winning it all. Who do you have?
It is certainly more open than it was a season ago. I can't say it's more open than Arizona versus Texas.
And you know what? I'd love if there was a viewer that got this far in the episode to tell me, wow, it's such a moronic take. Idiot take. Slam me, bro. But come with the facts.
Please tell him. Because I can't be the only one to try and stop him,
Tell
guys.
me what if you think I'm wrong. And you know what? The postseason could end, and neither one of these teams get even out of their first round. I could look like a ginormous idiot. But that's my gut, and I'll be
You already do.
Fuck
Tristan
you.
Thornhill. My goodness. I'll tell you my pick. Look, I mean, I think there's a number of things that could go wrong in the AL. I think my pick at the beginning of the season was San Diego Padres versus Seattle Mariners, and I actually don't think that's aged as bad as even I thought it would. You know, I like to stir the pot a little bit. And I want to circle back on one thing I said, Tristan, because I said the Guardians were going to be sub 500. And I said the Royals wouldn't make the playoffs. And I don't know what it is about that division. Hate to say I told you so, partner.
The Central consistently sucks. That's why I was so shocked to see what they did last year.
I was too. And I mean, look, I think Cleveland needs to get rid of Jose Ramirez, but we'll talk about that in the offseason episode.
I would love to see him moved. Oh, my God.
I think we all would. He is a Lamborghini sitting next to a mobile home.
Even when the Guardians find a way to be good like they did last year, they shoot themselves in the foot. And then you fast forward to this year and their players can't stay out of trouble. I'm looking at you, Emmanuel Clase, and then no one's bought in.
Yes. I mean, imagine driving through a neighborhood and you see a Maserati parked next to a double wide. That's like Jose Ramirez on the Cleveland Guardians. Anyway, I would like to
Someone said that it could also be Bobby Witt. I'd love to have Bobby Witt on the Yankees right now, dude.
I think he's too young to move, especially with how Vinny
he is. He's got tremendous upside. You got to the playoffs last year. You got to hope you can just retool it. So,
Roy George is telling Manny to stop with the fancy cars and crappy houses comments. But anyway, look, I mean, I think I like my Padres pick. I'm going to stick with that. I think the additions that they made at the deadline were bold. I like those moves. Mason Miller, J.P. Sears. Are you kidding me?
They have one of the best bullpens. I give you that. They have probably the best bullpen.
And they've got good starting pitching. Not great, good enough to get it done. I think the bats are there. I think the swag is there. The only thing that scares me about the Padres is can they put the personalities aside, put the pride aside, and get it done. And then on the AL, I'm going to agree with the partner.
Final thing
Tigers.
I'll add to that is, can the Padres get over the hump? Can they get over the curse? If they do see the Dodgers, can they beat them? And guess what? They see the Dodgers. It's in the chance to go to the World Series. You got them in 7. So go ahead.
I mean, I think if you're the Padres and you play the Dodgers, you're looking at a better odds the shorter the series is. The shorter the series is for the Padres, the better chance they have against the Dodgers. I think for me, it's Padres and Tigers. I will change my AL pick. And I do think the Tigers will reign victorious. I think the pitching is just too good to overcome. But Tristan Thornhill, it looks like we're out of time. What do you got for us?
It's just correct. First and foremost, I think it's crazy that no one's going with the Blue Jays, but that's what they are. They're a fluke to me. But anyway, my partner, my pal, Jack, you know I love you, buddy.
Love you too, brother.
Love everybody here that's in the chat with us on this late, what is it, Wednesday? I don't even know what day it is. I can't see the sun. I'm miserable.
No, because the sun's not out right now.
I'm sitting on a call with this miserable prick and just getting flamed all week by him in text messages.
Copernicus over here. Why is the sun down at 8:30?
But shut the hell up. But the most important thing is that we have brought you some baseball talk, and we are back, and we continue to provide you with some elite ball knowledge straight to the cranium. Okay? Before I get to my large, loud intro that you can see on the back of our merchandise, if you go see the Makash YouTube page, all it takes is a click, then a click of the store link, merchandise, Makash Films merchandise, Hitting Cage merchandise. You can get it all there. It's awesome. Please go check it out. Go check out everything Makash, everything 88 Keys Management. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter. And please just be a decent human being as you go out. You know, there's a lot of shit going on in the world, and we don't have to touch on it because we like to escape that world, talk about sports here. But I'll talk about it briefly. Lots of shit going on in the world, man. Just hug your loved ones, pat somebody on the back, give a random person a hug. You never know whose day you're going to change, all right? Just be some positivity. Be the light you want to see in the world. I know it's cliche, but fuck it. Be positive. And you know what else you need to be? You need to be funky! And you need to be fresh! And by golly gosh darn it, Jack, I speak for Jack and all of us here at the Hitting Cage of Gosh Film. We will see you next one! Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.
Aye, that's a good one.